Let's look at one of the key models around embodiment. I think this is so central to all the work I do now. Sometimes I call it the four connections or the four types of regulation, the four banishments and the four bridges, four problems, four solutions. What am I talking about? Well, for a human being to be happy, to be flourish, to be embodied, to be a great coach, all these things, there's four deep types of connection that need to happen that come from four types of disconnection that have happened, particularly in modernity. There's reasons for all I can get philosophical later. What are they? Self-connection, connection with other, connection with the environment, with ecology, and with spirit or meaning, if you prefer. So these are the four reconnections, and they are four disconnections. We're disembodied. We lack the village, they sometimes call it, the sense of community. We lack the sense of being in the kind of ecological system, of feeling deeply connected to our environment. Most of our ancestors were Paleolithic and had this animist view with a greater sense of connection to that, and a lack of sense of meaning or a lack of spirituality. These are all things that are very common in the world today. Quick drink. They are also very much connected to each other in that one will cause problems for the others or support the others. So when one is disconnected, the others are too, right? So you're not in your body and it can be harder to find meaning and purpose, for example. You are positively as well. You're out in nature and it helps. I don't know, your romantic date you're on, you feel more connected, or you're suddenly more in your body, or you go, oh yeah, that's the meaning of life, and you get that sense of meaning and spirituality. So positively and negatively, they are connected. They are mutually supportive or mutually destructive in that way. Now, which is the most important? Well, it depends how you look at it. So the one we have the most agency over is our sense of self-connection, right? It's embodiment. So this is the one we can do most about personally through embodied practice. The other way you learn embodiment is through immersion, which is more the ecological, environmental side of things. But through embodied practice, that's one we can do a lot about. That's what this course has a lot of. But self-regulation in a way isn't the most important one from the point of view of what's the most powerful, even though it's the one we can affect the most. You could say co-regulation is. Why? We're social animals. If a baby cries, we don't ask it to do some yoga, we pick it up, we use voice, we use movement, touch. These are the human ways of doing things. We are co-regulated. Polyvagal theory has lots more on that. It's well established at this point that this is what we need as human beings to stay sane, to be healthy, to be happy. It's absolutely essential to our being, co-regulation. Equally, in embodiment training, doing things in community, doing things with other people, being in the field of embodiment with other people, even better than just doing your own practice, like way better. You'll notice this if you go to a yoga festival or do a meditation class. It's so much easier with other people. So those two things, mutually supportive. Again, connected to ourselves, it's been easy to connect to others. If we're not connected to ourselves, we're actually psychopathic. Not good. Empathy is based on that self-connection as well. Okay, so we have self-connection and we have the community connection, the self-regulation, co-regulation. Obviously the environment we're in makes a huge difference, right? So trying to be embodied, I don't know, in a concrete building with no plants and no windows, not great. Equally, the great outdoors. One thing we've learned over the years on certificate of embodiment coaching is get people outdoors. Because people used to be like doing their embodied practice, but like indoors, doing their yoga or whatever. And what we found is go outside. It just makes a huge difference. Like for me, a lot of my embodied practice, and I've done, I don't know, probably about 10,000 steps already today. Like it's just walking by the river, sitting by the river, walking the fields near my house. I was doing that early in the morning. Huge practice. You see a lot of dog walkers, just really healthy, just get outside a lot, right? So ecological connection. There are deeper levels to that. I studied with Josh Schry, who's a guy who did the Emerald podcast, go way deeper. But just get outdoors. Like for embodiment, so key. For well-being, so key. Your mum was right. Last of all, meaning, spirituality, purpose. I've taught a course on life purpose for years, but I'm increasingly bringing in spirituality to embodiment. Now, you're not going to be asked to sign up for a cult or believe a certain thing or religion or something like that. However, what I've really become aware of is that people need a sense of meaning to stay sane. They really need a sense of connection with something deeper. In 12-step groups, they say higher power, or inner power, they were going to call it after talking to Jung. Some sense of higher meaning, something that you want to live beyond yourself, that you think has more significance, something to be of service to surrender to, or else the whole thing's just sort of narcissistic. It's just very self-involved, and that doesn't lead to happiness. So the idea of connecting to something bigger than oneself, beyond oneself, deeper than oneself, different ways to say it linguistically, is just essential. It's just essential. It is actually essential to our survival. Man does not live off bread alone or embodiment alone. So absolutely key. And I've added that for the first time to Keck this year. So some really nice new content, I think, on spirituality and meaning. We're still developing it, but so important. Okay, you got them. Got the 4 things. Sometimes we do. Well, by the way, I taught the Ukraine trauma team. This was like so helpful, like in terms of dealing with trauma as well, right? Because trauma is the disconnection from these 4 things. And we used to do this little mnemonic because when you're training in a bomb shelter, people don't remember much, so you have to use these little games and stuff to help people remember. So it hugs. It's like self-connection, other connection or other regulation. You just do like pretend to be a tree, eco, and then theo, either this or this. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. So a little way you can remember it for you there. The 4 reconnections, the 4 reconnections, 4 foundations. I've got to think of a better name for it, but it's a great model and it is become absolutely central to everything we do. Oh, and I should also say Debs Dana has a similar model that she came up with totally independently, who's a polyvagal theory person. So if you come across hers, I didn't copy her, she didn't copy me. There you go.